Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Shit's about to hit the fan. Welcome to Unsanctioned Thursdays on Wrestling with Freddie.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Unsanctioned Thursdays. You like that voice? We spent a lot of money on that voice, so I hope you appreciate the sacrifices that I make. No Jeff died today. You're stuck with me. We are in October, and Halloween is coming. It's Halloween-y time. It's time for the boogeyman. It's time for Kane, the devil's favorite demon. It's time for the Undertaker. It's time for, who else is it time for? Who else? It's time for Luna Vachon. What? It's time for Luna Vachon, y'all. So get ready. Halloween is coming. I hope you guys are excited. I know my kids are. My son is dressing up as a giant inflatable banana. And I'm pretty sure he's doing it so that it's the closest thing to a penis joke that he can make at school without getting in trouble. Every joke he has is about these nuts here, these nuts there, these nuts are everywhere. It's making his mother slowly insane. But he's an 11-year-old boy, and that's what his friends joke about, are dicks and balls and farts, man. I don't know why women ever get attracted to us ever, because I'm still laughing at it right now, but party on. Way to go, men. Let's go. Anyway, we kind of talk about anything on these shows. It's not always wrestling. So today I thought we would talk about what I did at WWE and how it related to my actual career, and give you guys some information on that. And then maybe you can read into that what you will and psychoanalyze me. I was an acting coach and a writer and a producer at WWE for a couple of years, because I was an actor and a writer before that. And now back to writing and acting. I ran an acting class there, and it made me think of the reason to do this side quest, which is all Unsanctioned Thursdays are most of the time, and talk about my experience in acting class and sort of the art of the audition and all that stuff. Because that's what I tried to teach these wrestlers. I would give them monologues from movies that they liked. I would say, hey, tell me your favorite movie. And then I would find that whatever speech was the coolest one, right? Like Dolph Ziggler's a great example. On his Instagram years ago, he posted this like black and white video of him doing this rewritten version of Alec Baldwin's speech from Malice. And if you're familiar with that speech, it's the one where he says, "Do you think I have a God complex? I am God." And in that raspy Baldwinian voice of his. And he did the same thing, but with wrestling, and talked about his amateur and professional accomplishments, and then finished with the same line. And that was the speech that I gave him back in the day when I worked there. And some people would do, I remember Eve Torres did the speech from Beautiful Girls, the Rosie O'Donnell speech. And she was like, man, I feel really weird doing this because it's like talking shit about all of us. I was like, that's why you should do it, because you feel weird about it. And make yourself uncomfortable. Do it so much that it becomes comfortable, and you'll start kicking ass on all your other promos. And she totally bought into the philosophy and committed, and she got really good really fast. The cool thing about the acting class I went to, and if there's any actors listening and they're in Los Angeles, his name is Andrew Magarian, and he still works locally here in Los Angeles. And the other coach was John Holma. They were partners at the time. They're not now. This was, Jesus, 30 years ago. Wow. But they still are both kicking it, and they have great resumes and stellar reputations. They worked with everyone from me to Kirsten Dunst to my wife to every motherfucker that you saw in the 90s and 2000s. They pretty much worked with, and they're really good at their craft. I don't know who they work with now, but yeah. So anyway, Magarian would always put that same philosophy out there, do what makes you uncomfortable. I remember I was only 18 years old and so nervous. And this scene, you had to cry in the beginning of the damn scene before there's any dialogue. The scene opens with you bawling. And I was scared that I wouldn't be able to do it. And I was psyching myself out. And the first line is like, "There's water everywhere." I think that's how it was. It was a Vietnam vet going through some serious shit. It was from a play. Maybe there's a playwright out there that'll know what I'm talking about. And I knew I was going to screw up. And so I stood up. He said, come on, let's go. And that was after I'd already like been trying to cry for like a good 30 seconds. And they were just dry as a bone. And I stood up. I was pissed off because I was embarrassed. And I stormed out of there. And he followed me out. And I wanted to punch him right in the face. I got right in his face. And I was like, you did that on purpose. And he got right back in my face. He goes, you're goddamn right I did. And I was like, you embarrassed me in front of everybody. He goes, no, you embarrassed yourself. I didn't do anything. It's my job to make you uncomfortable. It's my job to make you uncomfortable until this shit becomes comfortable. And I hated him for saying that. And I was crying. I was so embarrassed. And he goes, that right there, go in there right now and do the scene. And I said, fuck you. I was so mad. And he goes, go in there right now and do the scene. And I go, get out of my way. And I push by him and I go in there and I do the scene with my partner and the whole acting class at the end. It's like, yeah, they give you a lot of love and they cheer. And he just kind of looks at me and has this like, he looks like Mr. Miyagi at the end of Karate Kid, right? Where he's just nodding with the smile. He was cool like that. His name's Andrew Megarian. He was real cool with it because it wasn't just about, hey, let's act and do the best you can. He had a strategy and a philosophy behind it. Everybody wants this. There's a term called off book, and everybody tries to be off book at an audition, which means you don't need the script. You memorized everything. You're there and you're going to show them your best stuff and you're going to earn this role. Damn it. And Andrew's philosophy was, nah, screw that. That's a sucker's play because that's as good. You're telling them that's as good as it's ever going to get. That's as good as it's ever going to get. That's your best. He said, you go in there and you're off book, but you bring that script with you. And you have 2 or 3 planned moments where you would look down naturally in a scene anyway. And you look at the script, even though you don't need to. And that way they believe that this performance is still incomplete. Even though you were as good as everyone else, now you still have some room to go. When they give you a note, they're excited to give you that note because they feel they can get their fingerprints on your performance. There's an ego involved there. And all us actors are sitting there like, yo, what? This is like, it wasn't going over anybody's heads. Everybody was like, this is next level. Because we had all done auditions the other way. You know what I mean? Where it's just you memorize everything and you go in there and show it's time to shine. It's my time to shine. No, hell no. It's your time to get this role. And that was the single best advice and strategy that anybody in this business ever gave me on booking roles. Yeah, go to acting class. That's important. Have people challenge your ideas. Have people make you defend your ideas and explain why. All those things make you better, right? In any form of art, whether you're a painter, a sculptor, whether you do 3D miniatures, whether you're an actor, a singer, a writer, or a professional wrestler. Like, have people challenge your ideas, put yourself in positions where you have to defend your ideas and your philosophies and allow them to evolve, and it'll make you better much more quickly. That's what acting class was for me. I started bringing my coach on movies if it was a young first-time director, because I wanted. First-time directors get scared to give you notes. They think you're going to get mad and like fire them or something. Meanwhile, most actors are like, no, man, like if you think I'm off track, talk to me. I may disagree, but talk to me. And so I would bring my acting coach on and I would, with the one note, like, hey, don't do anything. Don't come up to me on set because that would be disrespectful to the director. But if I come up to you, it's because I'm looking for you to challenge what I did in the scene. And he's like, yeah, I got you. And so we just said he was my assistant on this movie I did called Down to You. And I would go over there like between takes and just kind of whisper like, hey man, what'd you think? And he's like, yeah, try this. What were you trying to accomplish when you said the line like this? And then I'd be like, well, I wanted this or that. And if I said, I don't know, he'd be like, yeah, if you don't know, don't do it like that. You have to know. And I was a young actor learning on the job. So that was something that really helped me develop. And I was always a much better actor at the end of a movie than when it started, which may not have always been good, but it was good for me because I was learning quickly and I didn't go to college or anything like that. That opportunity was not going to be there for me based off grades in our our financial status. So yeah. Anyway, the best audition I ever had, I did not get. And believe it or not, I was up against Philip Seymour Hoffman because we were always competing for the same roles. It was a little movie called Montana with Keira Sedgwick. And I was auditioning for the role he played, which was the mob lawyer guy. And I had a way different take on the role than he did. And I wasn't even supposed to be up for the role. They wanted me for something else. And I said, no, please just let me read. Let me show you. And the first read I did was the best audition read that I'd ever, maybe I've done better now, but up to that point, it was the best one I'd ever done. Like I knew I booked the role. I knew it. And the director looked at me like, holy shit, he just booked the role. Everybody, like they gave me notes and I hit it again with their notes. Didn't just do this, my idea again. I took their idea and ran with it. And he goes, that was great. He goes, I'll see you again very soon. And I was like, oh snap. And my manager called me and he said, I don't know what you did, but they friggin' love you. And I think you just booked this role. And I was like, oh snap. All right, cool. Okay. This is the role. You always tell yourself that, right? This is the one. This is the one that'll make me. One day goes by. We don't get the offer. Another day goes by. We don't get the offer. Third day, my phone rings and my manager says, you didn't get the role. You didn't get the part. I said, what? What happened? Who got it? He said, Philip Seymour Hoffman. And the first words out of my mouth were, oh shit, because I knew he was way better than me. And I didn't know that's who I was even competing against, or I don't even know if I would have done it. And my manager just gets real quiet. He goes, Freddie, I'm so sorry, man. He said, but he came in late and they really love him and they're going to go with Philip Seymour Hoffman. And I couldn't even be mad because I already liked him so much. Like I had seen Boogie Nights. I knew how freaking good that guy was. And I wasn't anywhere near his level yet at that young age. And so I took it all in. I go, all right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. He goes, yeah, but we'll get him on the next one. Yeah, we'll get him on the next one. He hung up the phone and I remember looking to my roommate at the time, Joe, and he goes, bad news. And I go, yeah, I didn't get that part. He goes, oh, I thought it was the best audition of your life. I said, yeah, well, the best audition of my life against Philip Seymour Hoffman fucking sucks. And I stormed upstairs and fumed for a while. Then we went skateboarding and you shake it off. You got to have a short memory in this business because you book a lot less roles than you go out for. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We didn't talk much wrestling outside of our Halloween wrestlers. Did you guys think of any more during the podcast? Any more Halloween type wrestlers? So it's got to be like a tag team out there. Would Demolition count? Demolition? You'll give it to me because you like me. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you go to jeffdyeComedy.com to check out Jeff's tour dates or just check him out on Instagram. He'll let you know there as well. As always, tune into us, our main show on Wednesdays where we talk all wrestling, and Thursdays, the show that y'all created, that y'all keep going. Unsanctioned Thursdays, every Thursday. I'm Freddie Prinze Jr. Unsanctioned Thursdays. Peace.
This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.